we're ready to do the first one. We're going to do the key of C. Key of C is probably the most common key that most pianists start off with. Even the most, if I pick up an introductory piano book, it's mostly everything's in the key of C. And the key of C just means that there are no sharps, there's no flats. There are all the white keys, there are no black keys. Okay. The notes in the key of C, so the first goal is to make sure we know the notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, silly, and then go back to C. And if you haven't noticed already, it is the letters of the alphabet in alphabetical order. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And one thing I didn't talk about, one of the things that scales I forgot to mention was that the more you know the scales, the less you look at the piano. When I play, I barely look at the keys, and I know there's a lot of very classical, really trained pianists that do a lot of looking at the keys and stuff like that, and I'm sure there's a reason behind that. But if you look at most of the time, they're looking at the music, or they're just sort of staring off into space. Knowing the keys will be able to allow you to move around without looking. Because if you have a hard piece and you haven't memorized it and it's going and you got a bunch of notes, if you take your eye off of the music to look at the keys and you try to get back up, you're going to get lost. So that is one reason scales help out. Also, it helps you to feel out the actual keys, so you'll know what they are. And it also helps with hearing, ear training. When you'll hear something, you're like, that's off. That's not the right note. And pretty good pianists, if they hit a wrong note, will immediately say, and you can just tell it in their face. Like, I'm sure you saw that in a couple of, I was like, ooh, I hit that A flat. That's not the right note. So the keys, learning scales is a tremendous amount of work, but it is a tremendous reward to you as a musician. So let's look at what we're going to do. And I'm going to kind of manipulate myself a little bit. We're going to just do the key of C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then once we go up, we're going to go back down. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Okay. It's not too many letters to know. It's just the first 7 letters of the alphabet. So if you think about that, you're like, oh, there's so many letters. It's 7 letters. That's all there is. That's amazing, right? That we can create so many things, and we're just creating them off of 7 letters. Okay. So that was the first thing that we're going to do, is to learn the notes that are in the scale. The second goal was to use the correct fingering. And I showed this in the last one, where it's the 3, 2, 1 under for the right hand, and then over when we're going down. And then this one is going to be over, and this one is going to go under. So that's the fingering. We know the fingering. The third goal is to play the notes separate and then play them together. So I'm just going to go really slow. We'll do this together, and I'm going to try to show the keyboard, and I'm just going to go really, really, really slow. And I'll call out the notes. Remember, we should practice good posture, feet flat on the floor. Belly button should be right at the center of the middle key. Fingers are going to be rounded, and we're just going to do the right hand. I'm going to start with the C. How do you know the C? To the C, the middle C, I should point this out. The middle C is right in the middle of the keyboard. That sort of makes sense. Here it is. Here's the middle C. This is always the C. 2 C's. Okay? And you can think about this in particular ways. After a while, you won't need any sort of weird little things to help you out. But a cat has 2 ears, right? A cat has 2 ears. And there's the cat. And I'm sorry, it's a little bit weird. So I'm going to drop this thing. The 2 black keys, and the right one next to it is the C. So that's where I'm going to start today. I'm going to go really slow, and I'm going to call them out. So I have C, C, D. I'm going to have my fingers a little bit weird. E, F. We're going to keep going with our fingers. G. Now I'm going to move under. My bad. See what happens? C, D, E, and see what happens if I don't have the fingering right. What happened? I went here, and I was like, uh-oh, I ran out of fingers because I didn't have the fingering right. C, D, E, under, F, G, A, B, C. Do it again. On this one, I'm going to be quiet. Good. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the left hand. We want them to be an octave lower, which is 8 notes. Octave meaning 8 notes. So we're doing the next C down below from the middle C. We're going to start on the 5. Do it again. And this time, I went over. Great, perfect. Now we got one part done. Now we need to go back down. Remember, when we're going down, the right hand is going to go over, and the left hand is going to go under. So let's start with the right first. Maintain some posture. Okay, let's do that one again. My fingers are rounded. I'm going to go over. Now we're going to do the left hand. Start on the top, and this time we're going to go under. Under. Let's do that one more time. Okay, perfect. Now, the 4th step is to play it with a metronome. So I'm a metronome. I have it at 50 beats per minute. So listen to it. It's pretty slow. Da, 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 da. Okay. And you might be more advanced and you might could do like 100 or something. But we're just going to do 50. Right hand first. And we're just going to go up. We're not going to go down. Just go up. 1, 2, 3. Play. Good. 1, 2, 3, again. Okay, now we're going to do the left hand. Play. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, play. Over. Ready, set, and play. Great, awesome. Okay, now we're going to turn that metronome off. And now we're going to play the right hand and left hand together at the same time, going really slow, just going up. And we should have went down as well, but we're going to not have too long of a video. So both at the same time, the right and left hand. We're going to go really slow because what's going to happen is when you start getting into those, because they don't switch at the same time. The over and the unders are different in regards to when it actually happens. So it makes it a little hard, but we're just going to go really slow. And here we go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Stop. All right. So if we made it to the top correctly, my thumb on the left hand is on the C and my pinky is on it. If you messed up, not messed up, I wouldn't say messed up. If you didn't reach it that way, just go ahead and repeat it. We'll just do that right now. And here we go. And C, B, F, G. Oh, it's getting high on my tone. B, C. And I wasn't paying attention, and look, I ended up on the wrong notes. So concentration is very important. That's why it's like avoid distractions, avoid other things, because I ended up on the 4 and not the 5. Okay. So now let's do it where we play them together, going from the top note going down. Remember, one's going to go over and one's going to go under. We'll go really slow. And here we go. And B, A, G, F, D, B, C. We're going to try it one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. C, D, A, G, F, E, B, C. Okay, I messed up again. My mind got a little distracted, so I ended up on the wrong notes, the wrong letters. The wrong fingering again. But at least, hopefully, like you recognize that by the time I get to the end, I should be on back where I was and not on the 4 or something like that. And it happens. That's what I say. The less distraction you have, the more you concentrate, the better off it'll be. My mind was just wondering. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put them both together. I'm going to go up and down without stopping. Okay, here we go. And here we go. And C. And you can say the words out loud, letters out loud if you want to. And if you want to look at the keys, that's fine. Now don't stop, keep going. Good. All right. Now let's put it on to the metronome just to make sure that we are actually staying on beat. We'll do it at 50. And just because we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit, I'm going to put it at 55. You hear it? Hear the beat. And you can even tap your foot if you need to. Ready? And here we go. And again. Perfect. Okay. So there you go. There's your first lesson. If you need to go back through and listen to it again and practice, it's a good idea. As you can say, I screwed up a few times, so don't think that you have to be perfect. Even that second time around, I was messing up as well again. It is very common, just the fingers get off a little bit. But the more you concentrate, the less distractions you had. And I was just sort of distracted. I was thinking about other things. And then when I said to myself, Jocelyn, you need to hit these notes right, then I started concentrating and was able to get the scales right. So it's perfectly fine if you mess up. I just messed up, and I've been playing these darn gone things for decades. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed your first lesson, and then we'll come back and look at to do the same with the other notes that are listed for you. The other scales that are listed for you, and then I will go and we'll do what we're going to be looking at for week 2. All right, great.